ninja. Shka. Dali Jola MNC, the closer CEO, Antropa. Freddy with an I-E. Shka. Shka, 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 shka. Hello, Lokiara. Shka. Melon boy. Guess. You don't have to guess. But you made me think of a challenge. All of y'all, guess how many melons I have in my fridge right now. Okay? It's not an insane number. But it might be a little bit absurd. Somehow none of y'all are right. This is hilarious. No one is right. No one is right. Freddy with an IE. Ferome, Mr. Tim. Tinny, Mr. Tiny. Shk, y'all got it. 4. Good job. I have 4 melons in my fridge. Now, y'all have to guess what melons are my 4 melons, okay? So your chats need to have how many of each / like whatever, okay? What is the melon makeup in my fridge right now? What is the melon makeup in my fridge? All watermelons? Interesting guess. While y'all guess, I will thank Ratman for your sub. The first sub of the night. First sub of the week. Happy Lord's Day. Thank you, Ratman. Thank you so much for your sub. Click. Alright, click. Oh. D, shk, D, click, M. A, shk, N, sk. 3, click, D, shk. Thank you very much. Ferome is having a language moment, for which I do not judge you because these words are very confusing in English. In America, we do not consider pumpkins melons. As far as I know, none of the English-speaking world considers pumpkins melons, but pumpkins and melons are both in the gourd family. The gourd family is made up of melons and squash. We have many types of melons. We have sweet melons, and we also have salad melons, like a cucumber. And then we have many types of squash. Some of them are summer squash, some of them are winter squash, and one squash is pumpkin. Shk, 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 shk. Should have known you had a melon cake as soon as we saw the sweet potato hands. Look, I don't think these hands are ever turning a normal color. As much as I'm sure my diet contributes in some small way to my sweet potato hands, I also just think that this is my complexion, okay? This is like they've been more orange than this. I feel like this is actually like not that orange, you know? Like this is just the color that my hands are, okay? This is just the color that my hands are. You know how sometimes darker people have lighter hands? I think sometimes, I know lighter people have darker hands. The hands even out the humans, okay? We all have medium colored hands. If you're not jaundiced, then you're totally fine. I don't think I'm jaundiced. The melon makeup of my fridge is 3 watermelon, 1 cantaloupe. 3 watermelon, 1 cantaloupe. The watermelon are all technically mini personal watermelon, but 2 of them are pretty good. I mean, big. 2 of them are like pretty big, like mini watermelons. So I'm kind of hyped for those. How many have you already eaten from the total you had, or you just got them? Yesterday I had 3 melons in my fridge, and I ate a cantaloupe yesterday, and then today I went to a grocery store and I bought 2 watermelons, so now the total is 4. So the total went up. The total has gone up. Did you get a good deal? Yeah, I did. That's why I got them. The watermelons were 2 for $6, which is pretty dang good, because usually the standard price for a personal watermelon where I am is $5, $4.99-ish, $4.99 for a small watermelon. So 2 for $6, hello, yes please, yes ma'am, slay. So yeah, that's why I got the watermelons, and they feel nice and heavy, which is good. Watermelons, you can almost never smell the sweetness of them in the same way that you can smell the sweetness of cantaloupe or honeydew or something else. So you gotta tap them and kind of like feel them in your hands. Tap them and feel them in your hands. They want to be happy for their size. Watermelons are a bit under $3 here. Interesting. Net gain of 1 melon in the fridge a day sets a dangerous precedent. Your kitchen will be consumed by melon within the year. Maybe. Wow, $4.99 each for a personal watermelon plus sales tax. Luckily in Oregon there's no sales tax, which is hilarious and awesome. But yeah, groceries are like an insane price right now in the United States. Like, there's all kinds of stats that have come out about it. And I mean, so the grocery price explosion happened around the time that I moved to Oregon. And I think I attributed a lot of it to, like, Oregon. I was like, oh my god, everything is so much more expensive in Oregon. But the more I've been, tapped into the national conversation, the more I have learned that apparently in the whole US, grocery prices are just like, have kind of been exploding since about COVID. So, yeah, I have gone to grocery stores in Louisiana whenever I've visited for Christmas and stuff, and it is a little bit less expensive, but not by much. So, grocery prices are just crazy. It do be getting pricey. It do be getting pricey. If you had your own house, would you grow your own crops, fruit? Absolutely. That is like one of my main life goals, okay? And I don't have a lot of preferences when it comes to where I live. And so because of that, the main crop that I grow, I'm pretty flexible on. But like, I would love to have a grape vineyard. I would love to have apple trees or orange trees if I'm farther south. I don't need all of these, obviously, but if I could have like 1 or 2 like highly producing fruit plants, I would be so happy. I'm not as interested in like flower gardening, honestly, but I really like vegetable gardening and the idea of having fruit trees or fruit vines or whatever it is. I want a community garden. We gotta get a community first. First step of a community garden's a community. Imagine how many apples you'd eat every day if you had like 2 apple trees. I know, I would be so happy. I want a surplus. I want a true surplus, because another one of my ultimate life dreams is to be like an old farmer's market lady. Or, I don't have to be old. I can be immortal or something. But I would love to be someone who cans stuff or ferments stuff, and someone who sells jars of things at a farmer's market. Oh gosh, I want that so bad. I want that so bad. For my older years. Once Russia cuts the internet wires in underneath the sea, or whatever happens to the internet. Click. An artisan. I don't even know if I want to think of it as like, well, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what you mean by an artisan, because part of me would like to make like fancy artisanal breads and stuff, but I'm really much more interested in just like the like being kind of self-subsisting and selling human foods, not necessarily fancy foods, but just good foods for humans, Something tells me Sleepy stores mason ball jars. Yes, I absolutely do. Absolutely. As my mom grows older, she becomes more and more of a gardening lady. Ugh, good. I'm happy. I'm happy for her. My granddad basically makes everything homemade and grows all his veggies and fruits. Ugh. Yes, there were so many adults who I looked up to when I was a little kid who had vegetable gardens, but there was one couple specific, they were friends of my parents, and I babysat their kid sometimes, and they had the most well-maintained, beautiful, productive vegetable garden. It was just so lovely to go to their place and be surrounded by nutritious food. And they had kind of like a very French southern, it was a small house, but it was, Cajun French like architecture. So they had like a little balcony, and inside their balcony they had all these little like hanging plants and even more little flower beds. It just felt so hedge witch. It felt so hedge witch, so cottagecore hedge witch solar punk vibe. I loved it. I loved their place very, very much. Shik. I only have room to grow stuff on my balcony at the moment. Oh gosh, I know that I could grow stuff on my balcony here. I have a little tiny balcony, but I crave the earth. I crave the earth so much. And the thing that I want to plant the most is a tree, any tree, or a vine, any vine. And those are things I cannot grow on a balcony, or like a fruit producing vine. I don't think so, at least. I don't think I can grow that on a balcony. I would risk, God, I can't imagine. There's already such like a blackberry weed problem where I live. It would be hilarious if I started growing blackberries on the side of the building. I feel like that would be like illegal, but like a grapevine would be so cool. But yeah, I can't grow those on a balcony. But man, I would love to. I would love to. If you could only grow one kind of apple, what would it be? Probably sugar bee. Sugar bees are still my favorite. The other day though, I got some envy apples because they looked really good at the store, and boy did they hit good. But a lot of times the sugar bee apples aren't good. So, like the sugar bee apples are my favorite whenever they are in good condition, but they're just not perfectly in season, perfectly ripe often. So for the sugar bees and for the envy and for the pizzazz and the piñata apples, and the Honeycrisp apples. Those ones all seem a little bit more temperamental to me, so I always give them a squeeze test, you know? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you want a sturdy apple, okay? Apples and plums are opposites. You want a squishy plum, you want a hard apple. You do not want your apple to give at all when you squeeze it. You want your plum to be very squishy when you squeeze it. For pears, what you want to do to check if a pear is ripe is first you look at it, and you make sure you like the look at it of it, because if you're not willing to buy this exact pear, don't touch it, okay? You look at a plum, and instead of grabbing it with an apple, I grab it with the pads of my fingers to see if it's sturdy. With a pear, you poke it with your nail, okay? Poke it with your nail. That's the trick to see if a pear is ripe. If a pear is ripe, your nail will just slide through, like just easily slide through, but it'll still be kind of sturdy. And if your nail slides through, you buy that pear. If your nail doesn't slide through, then you have not hurt the pear, and it is okay to leave it on the shelf. But if your nail slides through, and then you're like, oh, I don't want that pear, then you've been a bad person. Then you've injured a pear and left it on the shelf, and you're gonna attract the fruit flies and make all the other fruit around it ripen super fast, and you are the problem. So you touch it with your nail, and if your nail slides through, then put that pear in your basket, okay? I grew a single butternut squash last year. This year I'm trying for potatoes and tomatoes. That sounds delicious, 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 delicious. If you don't like the look of them at the farmer's market, supermarket, grocery store, etc., chances are you won't want to eat them at home and or work. Very true. Very true. Hello, La Patata. Welcome in. I'm doing great. How are all y'all doing, my friends? Have y'all had a good weekend? Have y'all had a good day? How's work been? How's life been? How are your dogs? How are your cats? Oh my god. Right before I was live, I was scrolling on my YouTube shorts, and I saw a chiropractor video where they were cracking like dogs and cats, and I didn't like it. I love chiropractor ASMR on humans who understand what's going on and consent and want it, you know? But chiropractic on animals, I feel like it's bad. My instincts are so against it, unless there's like a serious medical issue, right? But I didn't get the sense that was how that was happening with the dogs and the cats. They seemed confused, and it made me sad, and I didn't like it. I'm just sus on chiropractic work in general. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like I can't imagine that people who are doing chiropractic on animals have been trained for that, because I don't think there is training for that. And I don't like it. I feel like they're gonna like just kill these dogs and cats, especially the cats, or the small dogs. Like, big dogs are pretty sturdy. I still get nervous, but like, they have pretty strong skeletons. But whenever I see them cracking the neck of like a little chihuahua, or like a cat, like a little flimsy cat, like, oh my god, those things they're so breakable. Ugh, gosh, it makes me nervous. And how do we even know if the animal like starts hurting them? Exactly. I feel like chiropractic might fall in the realm of more massage until they pull out the neck stretcher 3000. That one feels like I've seen people get irreversible damage. Oh my god, yeah, no, I hate those. I don't like those at all. When they put like the kind of rope thing around your neck and like pull you back. God, I hate that. this is the first time I'm hearing of animal chiropractics. Good. Good. Although if a chiropractor wants to come and pop my fingers, I'll let them and relax me. Yes, I would love to go get cracked by a chiropractor. I don't care if it's pseudoscience or not, because it sounds fun, and it does sound like it would cause some relief, even if it's placebo to me. But yeah, I don't like the idea of doing it on animals, because I don't think animals can get the placebo, you know what I mean? Because animals don't believe in anything, they just experience life. Do you know about the chiropractic origins? You know, I think I did learn about it at some point. I think it's fairly new, like it arose in the 20th century or something. But I can't really remember. I do feel like I learned it at some point, but I cannot remember. You would get the neck pull too? No, I probably wouldn't want that, but from what I understand, that neck thing is not standard. A neck crack, that's standard, and I would be comfortable with that, but the neck pulling thing is not standard practice. The ring dinger, it's called the ring dinger, is that really what it is? Chiropractic treatment cured my color blindness? That's so interesting, Nullify. Have you seen the one where you lay sideways and they pull your knee, hip? I'm not sure. I've seen the ones where they put you sideways and kind of twist you, but I don't know if I've seen where they pull your hip. I don't know. Chiropractic does work. I've also had deep tissue massages, acupuncture, ECT therapy. ECT? What is ECT therapy? Ectopic therapy. I don't know what that is. Before a chiro session. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of merit to, like, alternative medicine and Eastern medicine and medicine that's outside of the, what do you call it, conventional medicine. But I think that there's also obviously people who take advantage of the fact that it's less regulated, and there are definitely scam artists. So even though I think there's merit to a lot of these practices, and that there are a lot of good practitioners of them, I think, you just gotta be careful. Especially anything with needles. Because if you're not within the, if you're not within the standard medical system, then depending on what state you're in the US, they might have less regulations as far as cleanliness goes. And so because of that, if you're going to any kind of alternative treatment, and this is more true for actually cosmetic procedures, any kind of injections or even vitamin injections and stuff. I think I've talked about this before on stream, but there's a very high risk for that you can get, I can't think of science words right now, that the needles aren't clean basically, and so you're at risk for getting like mycobacterium or other kind of needle transferable bacterial complications because they're not in the standard medical system. Like the vitamin D injections, vitamin B12 injections are a huge one. Yeah. But it also happens with just like cosmetic injections, so fillers, Botox? Does Botox use needles? I think Botox uses needles, right? I don't even know. Yeah. So yeah, any kind of whatever. Yeah, if I were to get a chiro session, I would probably try to look for a more reputable one, even if it's more expensive, but I wouldn't want to risk it with someone who might be a scam. Yeah. EMS, electro muscle stimulation? Interesting. You know, I think I have seen some things like that. I've seen some fitness gym people, like if they have like a tense like quad or calf or something that's like cramping up, they'll like electrify it to like make it chill the frick out, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's the same thing, but I feel like I've seen that. You can probably get a chiropractor referred to you by your doctor. Yeah, that's true. Chiropractors, at least in the US, is like, there's a lot of reliable chiropractors. I know many people who've seen very good chiropractors and masseuses, and I stan them. I do know that there are still scam artists out there and stuff, of course, and people who have more questionable practices, but yes. Botox is a weird one. My mom had it done for her forehead, and she says it helped with her mental well-being. Interesting. On the other hand, though, one of my friends had a botched injection. And it messed her up for a while. That sucks. Oh gosh, that sucks. That sucks so much. ECT is to the brain, I think. Don't know if that fits, according to Google. Electroconvulsive therapy is a medical treatment most commonly used in patients with severe major... Okay, yeah, I have heard of that. I've just heard it called something else. What have I heard it called? Maybe I've just heard it called electroconvulsive therapy and not ECT. But yeah, I've had friends with like severe depression who have had that treatment. I still feel like I've heard it called something else though. Electroshock therapy? That's what they used to call it. But that's not what they call it anymore. I don't know. Whatever. Are you more or less likely to trust a chiropractor who's also a YouTuber? I mean, I would probably look at their YouTube if they had a YouTube channel. Like, being a YouTuber just by itself doesn't make me think that they're either more or less legitimate. But if they have a YouTube, I will look at it, and it will give me more data to see whether or not I think they're legitimate. You should do ECT on that lobotomy squishy pig. Maybe. Hello, Sass. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Would you schedule one with Mondragon? Absolutely. I think Mondragon is totally legit. I need to clear my throat. Yeah, I think Mondragon is incredible. this point, I think getting a Chiro session with Mondragon is one of your side quest goals. Honestly, like, truly, in my head, if I have any reason to go to Florida, I will get a Mondragon session. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go to Florida just for that. It's kind of a long way away. But if I'm in Florida, I will do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes. How much did they cost? I have no idea. I will do whatever it takes, okay? I will do whatever it takes. Shik. What about Disney World? Not my vibe. Shik. My girlfriend used to go to a chiropractor. At the end, he'd say, lift your arms, lift your legs. Good, I didn't paralyze you. Nice, nice. Shik, shik. Cairo is better than Disney World? Yes. True. 100%. Disney World is like, it's mid, okay? If you like amusement parks, it's probably great, okay? But, if you don't like amusement parks, then has nothing for you. Shika, shika. Shika, shika, shika. Hello, Sci Fantasy Break. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Have you considered that maybe you hug Woody and Buzz? I don't want to hug Woody and Buzz. I don't know. I don't not like them, but I don't want to hug them. I don't want to hug actors playing them. I don't know. I have no desire. You don't want to hug a Disney cast member in a foam costume? No. I want to hug my friends and my family and my, animals. Sess says, would you hug me if I was a worm? Sess, I would only hug you if you were a worm. Okay? No parasociality here. I would only hug any of you if you were worms. If everyone here turns into worms, I'm suspecting the common link is a streamer and we've been cursed. That sure would be something, but you would all be worms, so what could you do about it? What if they were in a foam costume of your friends and family? That's terrifying, Soulguard. That's terrifying. sleepy if you turned into a worm, I'd still watch your YouTube videos. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Destructicon. Thank you. Guto, thank you for your prime. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Guto, Guto. Guto, Guto. Shk. G. Click. Usk. T. O. Seven. Shk. Underscore. Seven. Shk. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Would you still readjust my bones if I were a worm? I don't think you'd have bones. I think you would be an invertebrate if you were a worm. Invertebrate. That doesn't mean you don't have bones. That just means you don't have a spine, right? Invertebrates. Invertebrates. Aren't there invertebrates that have bones but no spine? Or am I just making things up? Invertebrate. Invertebrate. I think they don't have bones. Invertebrate, I believe, means you don't have bones. I think most invertebrates don't have bones. But I think it technically only means you don't have a spine. But maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm gonna Google it. No. I'm gonna AI it. I'm gonna perplexity it. Oh, according to Google, an invertebrate is an animal without a backbone. Yes. In fact, invertebrates don't have any bones. Damn it. Invertebrates that you might be familiar with include spiders, worms, snails, lobsters, crabs, and other insects. Like butterflies, however, humans and other animals with backbones are vertebrates. Well, I'll take it. The word means without a backbone, but functionally it means without any bones is what I'm getting from this definition. And oh my god, the original chill. What the heck? Thank you so much. $60? $60. Thank you so much, the original chill. I would love to give you a tarot reading. Let's see what the cards have for the original chill. The most original chill. The most original chill. What do the cards have for the original chill? The original chill. 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 Alright, first we have the Six of Swords, not cards. Some kind of journey or travel. Then we have the Two of Wands. Journey into the mysterious future. Journey into mystery. Journey into wonder. And the Eight of Swords as well. Journey into unknowing. Unknowing. Putting a lot on faith here, the original chill. So far, this reading is giving me the vibe that you know that something has to change, and so you are taking a leap of faith, even though it is scary, and even though perhaps you wouldn't advise other people to do what you're doing, especially with this Eight of Swords. I mean, I think you have a lot to be nervous about, but you also trust in yourself enough to move forward into this very murky future. nervous excitement. Okay. Next we have the Ten of Cups. Excellent. And the Five of Wands. Interesting. And the Three of Wands. Okay. You are stepping into quite the journey. The original chill. On the path ahead, there will be friends and there will also be fights, okay? There will be friends and there will be fights and there will be a lot of emotional fulfillment. This Ten of Cups is really, being surrounded by love, loving everyone around you and knowing that they love you for who you truly are. So I think that this journey is very much worth it, and you stepping out and taking this leap of faith is the right choice, even though it's scary, even though you're diving into mystery, and even though there will be a lot of conflict along the way. It's going to be so worth it. Even though you're going to be making friends and making fights, in the end it's going to be so much more fulfilling than whatever unsatisfying situation you are stuck in at the present. Next we have Judgment. Judgment, the Three of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. Okay. Interesting. The original chill, you have a big choice to make. The journey ahead is going to be one that is wholly, fully fulfilling. It's going to be a journey of conflict again, conflict and love and life. But there will be major losses on the way. There will be major losses, and there's going to be times during that journey where you wish you never set out to begin with it, because you're going to sense betrayal. This Three of Swords, I always think of the Three of Swords as one of the most painful regret cards. A lot of tarot readers kind of think of it simply as heartbreak, but there's so many sad cards in the tarot that I like to be a little bit more specific, I guess, with my associations. And the feeling that I get from the Three of Swords is kind of like, I should have seen this coming. Why did I give myself to something even though I knew it was possible to be betrayed? Because of course, this bit me in the end. I saw it from a mile away, and I still went forward with it out of love. And I thought I would be rewarded for that. But instead, my trust was broken, and I was betrayed, and now I regret it. That's kind of the type of heartbreak that I get from the Three of Swords. So, with the Three of Swords and the Five of Wands here, and the Ten of Wands, there is going to be conflict and fights and regret and shame on this journey. There's going to be a lot of pain, but there's also going to be so much joy and so much love, so much laughter, so much art made along the way. There's a lot of wands here, a lot of creativity, creative energy. But in the end, only you can decide whether or not it's worth it. I don't know what your situation is right now, Original Chill. I don't know what is pushing you to go out onto this journey into that mysterious future. I don't know if it's stagnation. I don't know if it's boredom. I don't know what it is, but something isn't sitting right with where you are now. And knowing that if you change things up and explore this distant, murky future, might be a much more emotionally stimulating life. It's something only you can decide if that's, what you want to chase. What you want to chase. What you want to chase. Do you want to chase the heights, the sensation, the feeling of everything that it means to be human? Or do you want to stay still and experience whatever it is you're experiencing now? Let's get a cloud card. Cloud card, cloud card, cloud card, cloud card. Cloud card for the original chill. The through, I'm getting that. I think isn't it a Roosevelt quote? If you're going through hell, keep going. I think it's a Roosevelt. No, not Roosevelt. Someone else. I don't know. Someone else, I'm sure, knows. Maybe it was a British guy. Who was the British guy? Churchill? Is this a Churchill quote? If you're going through hell, keep going. I get Roosevelt and Churchill mixed up. Because they're both like old guys, I picture them in black and white, and that's how I get them mixed up. If you're going through hell, keep going. Yeah, it was Churchill. Gotcha. If you're going through hell, keep going. That's what I'm getting from this card, okay? Whenever you're at those points in the journey where you feel regret and you feel fear and shame and you wonder if it was ever worth it, whenever you start feeling stupid for going on this journey because it hurts right now, whenever you want to give up, keep going. Keep going. Because there is so much love to be felt. And there's so much love inside of your heart to give to the people around you. You are a font of love and joy. And you deserve to live a life where you get to pour that love out to people who are worthy of it. And you also deserve to feel the love of other people. And to be known for who you really are. So whenever you're going through whenever you're going through hell, keep going. Okay? Thank you so much, the original Jill. I hope that resonated. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for letting me read for you. Hello, Grilito. I'm glad you liked the humming. Welcome in. Thank you so much. What a wild reading. It definitely resonated. I'm glad. Good. Ferome with the science update. So apparently invertebrates don't have bones, but there are animals that are in a weird in-between spot, like starfish and sponges, that are considered invertebrates but also have a skeleton-like structure. Interesting. The vertebrate-invertebrate designation is a construct, okay? Never forget it. Never forget it. Like the starfish has the body that holds them together. Yeah. When you're going through hell, keep going. Like an exoskeleton. Hong Kong. I don't think starfish would be considered to have an exoskeleton. It's more like their entire thing is a skeleton, right? But I don't know. Maybe. It's like they're just a skeleton and a nervous system. Starfish don't have blood, right? Even insects have blood. No, they don't. No, they don't. Nothing. What has blood? What do you call an animal without blood? Is there a science word for animals that don't have blood? Bloodless animals. They got bug juice, yeah. Starfish has no blood or even brains. I don't know how they're alive. They're a mystery. Invertebrates? No, invertebrates don't have bones. Depends on how strict we're using blood. Blood is not a regulated definition. I see. Insects use a fluid called hemolymph. Hemolymph. Interesting. You know, I feel like if you can turn anything into a raisin by putting it in the hot sun, then it's juicy enough to be considered bloody. Like, if anything can dry out, then it's juicy enough, is how I feel. But if there's an animal that can't dry out, that can't like overheat into turning into a raisin, then that's not a juicy animal, and it needs a different designation. There's like animals with juice inside of them, and then there's animals that don't got no juice. Like, I feel like sponges don't got no juice. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny, because they can obviously become saturated, but you squeeze them out and they're just fine. But if you set it out in the sun and it turns dry and crispy, like a raisin or a kale chip, then it's a juicy animal. Your definition is not scientific, I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, call science whatever you want, okay? I think my definition has some science components. Raisins are not crispy, or am I misremembering? We like to stop the raisin crisping process before they get too crispy, okay? But I believe that if you set a raisin out for long enough, it would become crispy, okay? What about prunes? Delicious, but also yes. A sponge can get dry and crunchy if you leave it out in the sun. Yeah, but a sponge getting dry and crunchy doesn't, like, hurt the sponge, right? Maybe it does. Are sponges okay when they're dry? How do you know if a sponge is alive or dead? I'm questioning everything right now. It does kill them? Okay, then I take it back. If they're dry, they're dead. Interesting. So I would say sponges are juicy then. Are there any non-juicy animals? I guess they do say that water's the secret to life. Are there any dry animals in the world? Truly dry animals? Do sponges feel pain? I don't think so. I don't think they feel pain. Tardigrades. Sounds like a pastry. A tart. A tart. Nom nom. Without access to water, a tardigrade will curl up into a dry ball called a dun. Their body systems slow down so much that they're almost but not quite dead. The tiny animal can survive like this for decades. Ugh. Those guys. I've heard of these before. Insects are pretty dry, except for some hydraulic fluids. Yeah, I include the hydraulic fluids in my science speculations. Camels are dry? No, they're not. They got 2 big buckets of water on their back. Sleepy Chat, I have a question. I started university and I want to know if y'all have any good study advice. I don't really know the most efficient way of studying, especially regarding textbooks. Like, should I take notes while reading, highlight, skim read, or something else? So truly every student is different, and you gotta figure out what your learning style is and stick to it. Me, I am an auditory processor, so I read stuff out loud, I quiz my friends out loud, I take really detailed notes as well. That helps me. Talking about the material is the best way for me to study, though. Just talking about it. That's me. But other people are more visual learners or more tactile learners or whatever. Were you a 4.0 student? Nah. I was 4.0 in the subjects I cared about and the subjects I liked. But there are subjects I don't like. And I found it very disagreeable to spend too much time on them. What were your subjects? Math and some sciences. It depends on the science. Like, sciences are different from one another, right? But like, math for sure was my worst. Astronomy. I did way better in astronomy 2 than astronomy 1 because I liked my teacher. Are you a biology homie? You know, I've actually somehow in my life gotten away with like never taking a formal biology class. Can you believe that? I've never taken a biology class. Now, obviously, I've learned biology in classes. Like, I've taken like health class. I've taken high school stuff that like includes biology aspects. And I took a class called Science and Society, which covered a lot of biology. And both of my parents are biologists, kind of. Biology's a big field, right? So like I would say I'm pretty good with biology, but I have never actually taken a biology class. In high school, I'm pretty sure I had the option between biology and physics, and I took physics. But maybe I'm forgetting a year. Let me think really hard. 8th grade science was earth science. Ninth grade, what was my ninth grade science? Ninth grade science. I don't remember what my ninth grade science was at all. What was my 10th grade science? I don't remember. I think my 10th grade science was health. But I don't really remember. 11th grade science was physics, and 12th was chemistry. I feel like I never took biology. And then in college, I took science and society, which is a lot of biology, but it's really more about it's a class about how, it's a class about research literacy, basically. And so we covered a lot of biology, but we also did other stuff. And then I took astronomy. So did I really know? But I don't remember what 9th and 10th grade math science was. I have no idea. I don't even remember what the teacher was. 9th and 10th grade. What was I even doing? 9th and 10th grade. I must have taken a science class. But I don't know what it was. I think one of them just might have been health. Health class. Click, click. Click, click, click. But in elementary school, I took biology, but in elementary school you don't at least where I was, my courses didn't have names. It was just called science. I just had a science class. It was called my science class, and I had a grade in science. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a formal biology class, but I mean, I think most of my formal biology education was from 6th and 7th grade. I remember, learning about the structure of the cell and the mitochondria, and I did a report about diseases and all that stuff. So astronomy, huh? What are all the planets of the solar system? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I learned that. I memorized the planets of the solar system when I was 4 years old. It might have been when I was 3. Because my sister memorized them, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, 5-year-old girl knows all of this planets in the solar system in order? Wow. And I remember thinking, if my older sister can say all the planets, I need to learn all the planets right now, or else it's really embarrassing. That was my 3-year-old thought. So I learned them all. I learned them all. I remember I learned it before I went into elementary school. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I'm impressed by 3-year-olds sleepy to be jealous that early. The cardinal sins, they don't waste any time, okay? They do not waste any time. I feel like I was better at subjects that I could BS around by talking, explaining stuff my own way, but exact sciences like chemistry, physics were rougher for me. Wait, you're helping me right now. I think 9th grade was also physics. I'm remembering my 9th grade science. I had another physics. It was pre-physics or something. We did the egg drop. 9th grade was the year where I did the egg drop, and we all had to make a boat out of foil. And you know what? I was reading Aragon that year during all of my physics class. I remember my clearest ninth grade memories are like reading my book under my desk and my teacher telling me to stop reading and me saying, okay, and then just continuing to read. I like, if it wasn't my subject, I was a bad student. I give off like good student vibes to the teachers and to the subjects that I care about, but to the other subjects and the other teachers, I give off bad student vibes. I do not give a fuck. Which is something that I think some people are surprised about. But like, yeah, I wanted to read my book. That's all I cared about. To an extent, I think at that age, I already identified as like an art kid and a band kid. And I also identify, like, and this is not healthy, by the way. This is like something that I regret about my upbringing. I identified as someone who was like bad at science and bad at math. And so because of that, I was kind of like afraid of even liking those subjects, especially with math. My family, I honestly think, has like a pretty toxic relationship with math. Like, I remember whenever I was in second grade, which is around like 7 years old, I came home from school and I was like, oh my god, I learned about fractions today. I really like fractions. Look at these cool fractions. Oh my god, they're so exciting. And I remember my parents, or not, I think it was my mom and my sister, they were both saying like, just you wait, you will start to hate this. I hate fractions and you're gonna hate fractions by tomorrow, you know? Which I know they meant well. These aren't, like, I love my family. They were just joshin' and joking, but I had a lot of kind of like anti-math ideas in my family because all of us are kind of like creative and artsy and blah 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 blah. And so at a pretty young age, I started to like just identify as someone who was bad at math. And that is like a bad thing. It has affected me to this day. Sometimes I like look at multiplication problems and I just feel like I need to go ask for help from someone because like I'm not the kind of person who can do that. I feel like math the way a lot of girls feel like about cars or something. It's like, this isn't my lane, this is out of my league, this is like not for me to do. And that's very toxic. It's very toxic. Also, women should totally feel entitled to know more about cars and stuff. It can be my lane, exactly. But now I'm too old. Can't teach an old horse new tricks. The psychology is ingrained. So I have issues with math, but also that's probably why I was reading my books in my physics class. My brother gave me the same idea, but I love math so much. Yeah, nice. I remember I really did like geometry, and there were some maths that I really enjoyed. I really liked geometry, but I still did pretty badly in it, and like, it's weird how tied my identity was to all of that. Like, there was definitely a lot of conflict just like in my head of like, do I even want to do well in these subjects? Do I like them? I like watching Vi-Heart videos. I like watching like math theory videos. I like learning about Pythagoras. And I know that all these subjects are corrected. The division between subjects is also a construct. Math is science. Science is math. Math is philosophy. Math is art. Science is art. The fact that these things are separated is absolutely a construct. It's a convenient and functional construct. It helps us learn, for sure. But, the subjects are best conceived as, like, all parts of kind of one giant thing, which is just understanding the earth and understanding one another and understanding the human experience, right? So we should not identify with being bad at specific subjects, but I think a lot of kids go through that, whenever you're 10, you kind of start identifying as either a math kid or an English kid, and it's like, probably not good. Probably not good. Honestly, same TBH, even today, I've never considered myself good at math, especially growing up before seeing most of the class, understanding the math while I was still struggling behind. Right. Now that I think about it, I also was more enthusiastic for the subjects I liked, until the point I liked it so much that I felt I already knew what the teacher was thinking about when I stopped paying attention. Interesting. Aye, Captain. Welcome, Puppy Pavlov. Puppy Pavlov. Welcome to the chat. You pull on one string in nature and you find yourself unraveling the whole world. That's a good quote. I like that. You find yourself pulling one string in nature and you unravel the world. I was better with geography and history. Yeah, I didn't really care about geography or history very much until 10th grade. 10th grade, I fell in love with history, and it changed my life. Oh my god. Because before then, again, I was dealing with that weird block of like, all these subjects are different things, and I only like English and performance and art and music. And history is one of those other subjects. But I realized in 10th grade that history was art, and history was music, and history was language and English, and I fell in love. And it was because my sophomore 10th grade social studies class, history class, was church history, which is hilarious because it's a very highly judged class. It's like kind of controversial because I went to a Catholic school, and so like getting church history in a Catholic school is kind of like, okay, so you're just gonna like learn some lies about the world, about how the Catholic Church like did everything right in all of history. But no, that's not actually how it was. That's not, like, my church history textbook was like fat and thick and full of controversy, and my teacher, oh god, one of my favorite teachers, bless his soul, R.I.P., but he was a coach. He was just a coach, I don't even know if he was college educated. A lot of my high school teachers weren't. I think they just had like their certifications or whatever. But he was a coach, and he was smart though, and he was passionate about church history, and he was very quirky and funny, and he just brought history to life in a way no one ever had for me before. And it changed my freaking life. Ever since then, I have loved history. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I truly have him to thank for that. If it weren't for him, I don't know if it would have ever happened. And I would be a different person. He passed away a couple years ago. But, man, what an amazing teacher. I love history in general, but history in school is just about remembering certain events. Yeah. Those are teachers that are worth remembering. Yeah, absolutely. They're there. It's tears of joy. It's tears of joy, truly, like tears of gratitude and joy. Because I know he had that effect on so many more people than just me. And I know that he was a beloved coach as well for like the sports guys. And I have no doubt that, there's still hundreds of people praying for him every day, and I mean, he was popular until the end, as he well deserved. A pillar of the school system, a pillar of the town. Very influential on many, many young people's lives. My old school's history department was known for being way above average in the country, and when I did history, oh my, the teachers loved it. And had such a passion for what they were teaching me. Yeah. I had an English writing language arts teacher like that. She instilled so many good reflexes in my brain for grammar, as well as being the coolest lady ever. Yes, I've had many excellent reading and writing and, language, literature teachers as well. I feel like until I had that sophomore history teacher, I kind of thought that only English teachers could be cool, because they were the only ones who ever were cool. But he changed it. My 11th grade history teacher I really admired because there was no politics to his lectures, just straight up facts, and I loved it. He was great. Interesting. Was it? Yeah, 11th grade was civics. Civics was the social studies class, and so civics was, by design, the first social studies course that I had ever had that was all political. It was all about politics, the United States politics, learning about the political system. And it was very interesting. Let me tell you all the lore. Okay, let me tell you all the lore. I went to a Catholic school. All of the teachers were Christian, and probably 90% of them were Catholic. And only one of them was a capital R religious. In Catholic words, that means only one of those teachers was a priest, nun, monk, deacon, someone who had taken formal vows of chastity and whatever. That's capital R, noun, religious. And that was the civics teacher. So our civics teacher was a brother, and everyone else was just a lay person. And something that was just interesting and tense, I would say, within the school is that our civics teacher, the brother, was the only out Democrat. Everyone else was Republican, and that was considered the default. Like, going to a Catholic school and being in a Catholic town, like, you kind of just assumed everyone was Republican. It was almost like not a very highly politicized thing, because everyone was just Republican, and it was like, of course we are. That's what we are. Why would we not be? And so the brother, arguably the highest ranked religious person in the school, was the only Democrat, and he was teaching the only political course in the school, civics, and he insisted on teaching that course every year. He insisted upon it. It was the only thing he taught, and he was an excellent teacher, and everyone else would kind of give him eye rolls sometimes, because they would say, how is he a Democrat? How is he Democrat when the Democrats aren't this, when the Democrats vote for this or do that or blah blah blah? I don't understand it. But he explained his beliefs very well, and it was nice because I will say, like, things were a lot less polarized then than they are now, right? Like, now I really wonder what the vibe is like at my high school, because the whole country is so polarized now. Back then it was kind of like he would roll his eyes at the other teachers, and other teachers would roll their eyes at him, but no one was, calling each other freaking fascists. Thank goodness. So yeah, it was just a very, very interesting space. And I'm really glad that we had that representation, and that that teacher was brave enough to kind kind of represent the other side of the political spectrum in a way that was still rooted in his like Catholic values and in his Catholic life, because I think that was a really good model. And I'm positive that there are many parents of students who were like Democrats or more left-leaning, more liberal, who were probably just more quiet about it. And that might even be true of some of the teachers at the school. I'm sure there were more left-leaning people at the school who were just like maybe more quiet about it. But he wasn't afraid to like talk about his beliefs in a way that wasn't him starting arguments. You know, he would go to his civics classes and he would just really clearly lay out the positions of both sides of the political spectrum. And it was nice. It was nice. Hello Jamie, welcome in. I went to Catholic school until 8th grade. I went to public high school and the differences were glaringly apparent. Interesting. I'm glad I went to Catholic high school. I think I'm grateful for my education. I think it was a good one. Obviously there's like weird stuff about going to a Catholic high school, for sure. But, and there's less opportunities, depending on where you're from. Like, I didn't have, like, AP courses that I could take, or, like, there were extracurriculars that public schools had that I, like, just didn't have access to. So, like, that kind of sucked for the sake of applying to colleges and whatnot. What would you say was the weird stuff? Well, that. Like, there's a lack of opportunity being in the private school system rather than the public school system. The other weird stuff would be like, I mean, like we prayed so much, which I liked, but like whenever I got to college, because we started every class with a prayer, so whenever I got to college, it was like a major culture shock of like just starting class. Because in all of elementary school and high school, you got into class and you left your desk blank and like you didn't take anything out until you were finished praying. So class would start and we would say a prayer and then we would say amen, do the sign of the cross, and then we would all like take out our notebooks and stuff. And so in college I would find myself like just instinctively like going to classes and just like sitting and doing nothing and waiting for the class to start, and the teacher would like start just like open up the first slide or something for notes, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get all my stuff out, where did this come from? So like just kind of weird, I developed some instincts that were different, I guess. And I mean, like, yeah, it's just culturally different. It's culturally different in ways that there's just like pros and cons to it. There's just pros and cons. There's some like passive aggressive toxicity in all religious schools, I would imagine. But it also comes with like one of the things that I'm most grateful for is like, and I'm sure a lot of Catholic schools are different. I don't want to say that this is true for all Catholic schools because I've heard some horrible stories, right? But in my Catholic school, like religion and Catholicism was like so cool and good. So the most popular people were actually the nicest people. And there was very little bullying in my school. Because if you were a bully, you were uncool. Because you weren't being Catholic enough. And that was like very cringe. For like no one liked it. So like that's something that's very cool. It was an anti-bullying school. And because of that, you know, the public schools near me, some of them were pretty violent. Louisiana has a very bad public school system. So a lot of parents make a lot of sacrifices to get their kids into Catholic school or into private school. So, you know, there's probably some parts of the world where, like, if you go to a private school, it's a sign of class. And to an extent, that still has to be true, right? Because it costs money to go to a private school. But there's lots of, like, you know, middle class, lower middle class families who would sacrifice any kind of, nice clothes, fun trips, whatever they could do in order to get their kid into the private school, because the public school system is so bad in some parts of Louisiana. So just because you go to private school in Louisiana does not mean that your like family is freaking rolling in anything. Although there definitely are some. I mean, there's wealthy families everywhere. And yeah, so that's an aspect of it. There's a lot of people who are severely bullied in the public school system. So a lot of people who are like, maybe they have some kind of disability. A lot of them, after having been severely bullied, they would be like transfer students into our school, because our school had such a reputation of being like no bullying and a very nice environment. So because of that, we also had a fairly like significant group like of students in our school who were disabled or had other like reasons to have to like escape the public school system. Maybe they just had lots of enemies, that wasn't out of the ordinary. Sometimes you just make a lot of enemies in the public school system and you get beat up every day, so then you go to the Catholic school where they aren't there anymore. Yeah, and everything was just so religious, all the time, just super steeped in religion, super steeped in kind of history, and I liked that. I thought it was cool. Yeah. I went to college for a semester for filmmaking. The professor would show us more mainstream stuff instead of like art house, more psychologically challenging films. That's cool. If I may ask, did you ever get bullied? I certainly did. I mean, people were definitely rude to me sometimes, but I don't think I ever had like a problem of being bullied. There was like a brief period in 6th grade where there was a kid who was picking on me a lot, but it didn't get that bad. Nothing super severe. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone goes through high school without ever being teased, right? And I definitely got teased, but I was never chronically bullied. Do you ever wonder how different your schooling experience would be if you went to public school? Yes, for sure. I'm a public school survival. I never got bullied, but others were sadly bullied. Good job, MNC. I'm glad you escaped. Sleepy, then why are private schools looked down for opportunities? I feel like the rest of the world is opposite. Private school is considered better and doors open more easily. That's a good point. I don't really understand, honestly, why. So I can talk to my, school district, basically, and I would assume that these kinds of school district politics are shared across at least South Louisiana, Central Louisiana, and maybe the South more broadly in the United States. But the way it was for us, private Catholic schools are nicer. You come out with like generally a higher GPA and a more of like a college preparatory experience, and again, like more anti-bullying, stuff like that. The public schools though have government funding, so they have more classes, and they have AP classes. They are allowed to offer AP classes. For those outside of this United States, an AP class is a college class that counts as a college credit. So if you have taken AP classes in high school, then you go to college and you literally just don't have to take as many classes. Whereas private schools, it's harder for them to get that kind of federal or local or state approval to offer AP courses, because private schools create their own curriculum and they have slightly less strict regulations for, all of their curriculum. So it's it can sometimes be a more intensive curriculum, but they don't have all of the same like approvals and certifications that you get if you're in the public school system. So we had, you know, we had things on our like scheduling sheets that were technically called electives, right? We had elective courses, but the options for our electives every year were PE, art, or music. Those were the only electives we had. We didn't have theater. We didn't have sculpture. We didn't have woodworking. We didn't have a lot of these other things that other public schools have. Our electives were PE, art, music. Yeah, we didn't have welding. We didn't have any of that. So private schools have like less classes and less options. But a lot of times they don't offer any AP courses. Although they can get certifications, I think, for offering specific AP courses. So public schools are bigger and they cost less. Pretty sure they're free, but obviously you have to pay for supplies and all of that. They're bigger. You can get in for less of a cost. And you have more... The teachers are probably higher paid. Because it's like, well, actually, I don't know about that. I don't know what the salary difference is like for private school teachers and public school teachers. I have no idea. I know that at least at the place that I went to, a lot of the teachers were not working there because it was a better pay. They were working there because they were Catholic and they wanted to be able to teach in a Catholic way. They were like super values based, you know? So I would imagine that the price difference was that the salary difference wasn't significant. And I would imagine that, if anything, the salary difference was less. I just pulled on this wire a little bit. Sorry if that made a noise. Nobunaga, thank you for gifting a sub to MNC. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nobunaga and click Oshk. B, click Yushk and click Ashk. G, A, click U, click W, click U. Nobunaga. Thank you. My public high school experience wasn't that bad. Got some nice memories from it. Yeah, like, you know, school is different everywhere, and honestly, like, there's good teachers everywhere. There's good, passionate, dedicated teachers everywhere. A lot of my relatives are teachers. I come from like a family of teachers, and some of them teach in the public school system and some of them teach in the private school system, and I've never separated. I don't even know which ones are which. I know that they're all passionate though, and I know that I'm biased, but I consider them all great teachers. And I think that the work they do is wonderful. I think being a teacher is wonderful, and I also think there's good students and bad students everywhere you go, and there's bullies everywhere you go, and there's innocent little snowflakes everywhere you go, and there's talented people everywhere you go, and there's people who don't blossom until they're 30 everywhere you go, and that's okay. States also often have standardized testing, which are basically used to gauge which schools and districts get more funding. The better schools do at standardized testing, the more funding they'll likely get. That feels backwards to me. Maybe I'm being silly, but I feel like the worse you're doing, the more funding you should get, because like clearly there's a problem of funding. But who am I to judge? I'm not a politician. Weird how the US works opposite to the rest of the world in some things. Here, I remember that even from parents, one of the usual threats for kids to study was, if you get bad grades, I'm going to stop paying the school and put you in a public one. And no kid wanted that. Interesting. You're telling me that public schooling is backwards in a lot of ways. It's true. To an extent, I understand it. Like, reward the people who are doing well. I'm not against the principle of rewarding people who are doing well, but especially when you're talking about children, I feel like punishing them for doing badly and reducing their opportunities for doing badly is like not helpful. Like, I think there's been studies that one of the biggest things that you can do to improve test scores is having good food for kids in school and air conditioning. Air conditioning is massive, and good food is massive. Their little brains are growing. Brains gotta eat. And you know what? AC and good food costs money. So I don't know. I feel like they should have more money. Can you imagine if, like, we spent less money on dumb stuff and more money on education? Can you imagine if we spent less money on violence, on potential hypothetical violence, and more money on education? Sleep is another thing that helps test scores. They significantly changed the report times for schools around me. Interesting. Careful, Sleepy. The military-industrial complex doesn't like what you're saying right now. I'm not afraid. All your classrooms had AC? Yes, they did. In Louisiana, I don't think you can, like, build a building without AC. I feel like it's illegal. It's too hot. Like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, civil codes where you can't just have a place that doesn't have AC. Did y'all have portables? If I understand what you're saying, yes. Like, buildings that were portable? Yes. Like little buildings that had classrooms in them. And they moved around, like little trailer homes, but classrooms. I had classes in the portables. Yeah, we had those. listening to this while working on my video game, but that's cool. That's the best kind of scratching noise. I agree, Saki. I agree. I agree very much. Hello, Rajit954. Hello. Welcome in. Fancy seeing you here. Do you know what Kidtopia is? Nope. How's Gracie? She's doing great. Since we spoke of science, were you able to check Kyrgyzstan? I think I've heard of them before, but no, I haven't looked at their videos. Was it a balloon you were touching in the reptile face peeling video? No, it was not. One person knew what it was. They commented it. One person knew. But I think most people did not know. Kidsania is a Mexican franchise that creates child-sized replica cities where kids can roleplay various professions and learn about the adult world through immersive hands-on activities. I got to play it and pretend I was a painter as a kid. Nice. That's pretty fun. I probably will check them out, Perone. I probably will. JKXOXO. Thank you so much. Thank you for your sub. Thank you so much. JKXOXO. J, click, A, click, Y, click, K. Sk, Y, click, X, sk, O, sk, X, click, O, sk. Thank you. I'm gonna drop you my curated YouTube algorithm so you can start getting brain rot and non-serious YouTube recommendations. Please do. Please do. In Jacksonville, the Wires didn't play this weekend. Interesting. What's one movie that everyone has seen but you haven't? I haven't seen Fight Club or Breakfast Club. I also haven't seen any Timothée Chalamet movies or anything. I've never seen the man act. I hardly know who he is. I also haven't seen, there's another Quentin Tarantino movie that I haven't seen that I feel like everyone talks about that I haven't seen. Yeah, Pulp Fiction. I haven't seen Pulp Fiction. Have not seen that one. I have seen Django. That's like a surprising sound. Why does that sound so good? The shoulder noise. What about Interstellar? I have seen Interstellar. Have you seen Henry Cavill? Yeah, I've seen the first season of The Witcher. That's it. What movie do you recommend? I recommend The Fall. The Fall? There's lots of movies called The Fall though, so the one directed by Tarsem, starring Lee Pace. One of my favorite movies. The Fall, directed by Tarsem, starring Lee Pace. I also really like A Little Princess, 1998, I think. 1998. I also really like what else do I like? Love is Blind? Infamous Netflix reality TV show. Yeah, that's all I got. Have you ever watched Succession? No, I have not. I have not watched Succession. Oh, My Cousin Vinny, classic. One of the only comedies I absolutely love. I love My Cousin Vinny, My Cousin Vinny, My Cousin Vinny. I recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. I saw that. I watched that around Christmas this year. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. How was it? I'm gonna be honest. I only liked it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I only liked it. It made me tear up, but I only liked it. It didn't so 6 out of 10? Okay, if I'm judging it on like merit as a movie, like probably 8 or 9 out of 10. Like cinematography, great, acting, great, costumes, performances, everything, script, great, great. But on how it affected me, how much I loved it, how much I was moved, affected, like 4 out of 10. It was like fine. It was just fine. Yeah, saggy iguana. I feel ya. Have you watched any animated movies recently? No, I haven't. It's a beautiful movie and it says a lot about overcoming generational trauma. It does run a bit long though, yeah. There's generational trauma that's pretty specific to an Asian cultural experience. That could be why it didn't connect with me, but I will say that there have been other pieces of media that I've consumed that have been specifically about Asian generational trauma that are some of my favorite things that I've been moved deeply by. I've talked about it often. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is a book, and I can't think of the author's name right now, but that is about Vietnamese generational trauma. Ocean, yeah, thank you. And oh my god, it ripped my soul apart reading that. I definitely cried, and it was not a shallow cry. Like sometimes I cry when I watch TV or movies because like the music is good and I'm just like shit, my body just makes me cry. But no, that book made me cry from my soul, even though it was talking about a trauma that was not at all mine and not really at all something I could relate to on a personal level. Oof. Ugly crying? No, I wasn't ugly crying, I don't think, because I was in public. I was in the Baton Rouge Public Library, and I was sitting in a chair watching the sunset, so I probably wasn't ugly crying, but I was definitely crying. I was deeply crying. Dusk Bay, thank you for your prime. Thank you, Dusk Bay. D. Yushk. S. K. Bishk. A. Eask. Thank you, Dusk Bishk. When you cry, does your nose get red? Nobunaga. Yes. My nose gets red. My eyes get red. The veins in my forehead start popping out. My cheeks get puffy, like this, and I start foaming at the mouth, and blood comes out of my ears. All right, it's a wild experience. Anyway, what should we name this stream, my friends? Today is a short stream. We are going to raid Swoozy whenever we finish here in a couple minutes and play some video games, okay? Play some video games. What games? I don't even actually know. Maybe Deep Rock Galactic? Maybe Hearthstone Battlegrounds? I love playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds, so if it's up to me, we're gonna play Hearthstone Battlegrounds. But we might play Deep Rock Galactic. Or we might play something else. We might play Darktide. I'm not sure. We're probably gonna talk a lot. I will be speaking in my normal voice. Unless they're in the ASMR category, in which case I'll quiet it down. But yes, let's name this stream something with school. Tales of Catholic School. I like non-blooded animals. Oh yeah, chiropractors should probably be included. Dang, we covered a lot in 2 hours. I'm sorry. I did not mean to make it a loud noise. It was accident. How about that? Dog chiropractors, non-blooded animals, and tales of Catholic school. How does that sound? How does this sound? In that order, the title sounds like a scary story. Good. Good. Very good. Sounds like a Neil Gaiman title. I do like Neil Gaiman. I do like Neil Gaiman. I thought we don't like Neil Gaiman anymore. What did he do? No. He's fine. What did he do? What did he do? He had some allegations? Being a creep? Okay, come on. Being a creep is not cancelable, right? Like 70% of y'all are like probably creeps, but like I don't want to cancel you. You're just like a little awkward. I'm sorry, that was mean. That was a joke. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Being a creep is not cancelable. I need more information. He's an author. Do we expect him to be like a social butterfly? He writes books. It's more of an essay creep. Oh. That's not being a creep. If it's essay, it's not. Creep isn't the right word. Accused of essay by 2 women. Interesting. This makes me want to research, look into it. Investigated in New Zealand. Interesting. What a shame. That was a while ago and I don't know the full details or what came about it. You shouldn't get surprised anymore. Anything's possible now. You know, I've never actually read a Neil Gaiman book, so I don't have to burn any of the things on my shelves. Don't forget to mention you're only a creep if she thinks you're ugly. This is not true. Okay? Very attractive people can be creeps too, and also, being a creep isn't a bad thing. It just means that you're not a social butterfly. And social butterflies are like half a red flag. In my head, there's like 2 kinds of people. There's like, creep isn't like a bad word. Creep is just like, to me, if you're a creep, you're just like awkward. Which is like fine. It's like fine. What if you're a creep and a weirdo? You should write a song about it. That's a social roach, not a butterfly. Yeah. I mean, TBH, that's fair. Most social butterflies are sociopaths. If you're a social butterfly, you're either like the goodest golden retriever, or you're a sociopath, or you're a priest. And there's no more categories than that. And then if you're not a social butterfly, you're like either like, what's it called? Not delta. What's the kind of man? Sigma. You're either like a dark like sigma, whatever man, or you're like a quirky weirdo creep, which is like fine, or you're another kind of sociopath. Sociopaths are everywhere. Quirky weirdo creep is a good way to put it. Faithiel, quirky weirdo creep. I believe it. Let me be clear, y'all. I am also a quirky weirdo creep sometimes. Okay? I have weirded people out of my life more than once because of my weird behavior. I understand. Like, truly, I replay those interactions in my head sometimes, and usually I try to fucking forget about them because they're so embarrassing. But I have weirded people out of my whole life. I have embarrassed myself, so it's okay. Examples? No. Alyssa Pegs, thank you for your pride. Thank you so much. A click L Y shk S S A click P shk E G click S. Thank you. I'm trying to picture it and I cannot. Let's see, I can give quick examples. I don't even know if I want to. They're really embarrassing. Like, I'm not gonna give the worst examples. I'm literally just not. But, some of, like, the less bad examples, I think I've come off as really, like, grandiose before. And I think I've come off as, like, psychotically religious before. To the point where people were creeped out by me and didn't want to talk to me, which is fair. Because I arguably, depending on your opinion on your definition of psychosis, I mean, I arguably am. And let's see. Yeah, I don't want to tell the worst stories because they're too embarrassing, but I mean, yeah, I've just creeped people out before. I've come across as probably like gross before, to the point where people did not want to associate with me. Have you ever tried to convert people? No, not like that. The way I see it, weird means you're not normal, and normal means average, and who the heck wants to be average? Interesting. Was it long ago? Yeah, I would say it was pretty long ago. I think that's a big thing in life. Not everyone can like you, and that's okay. Yeah, it's true. Not everyone can like you. Oh yeah, gifts. Gifts is actually another one, Aunt Olivia. I've given people shitty gifts before that have made them want to not talk to me. I've given, and it's weird because it's very much like a some people like it and some people don't. There's been some people who I've given gifts to and they've been like, oh my god, this is wonderful, and they keep it on their keychain forever, and they like tell me, they'll like hit me up years later and be like, this was so sweet of you, I still think of this, thank you so much. And then like I will give that same gift to someone else and they'll be like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they will be weirded out because I'll be wondering if I'm trying to suggest something by giving them a gift, and they will actually like associate with me less because in their head they're like, wow, Sleepy worked on 6 hours on something for me, and I will never work that long on something for her, and this relationship feels uneven, so then they don't want to hang out with me anymore. Which I understand, but also like I wasn't trying to like suggest anything. I was just probably a little bit manic and making too many little things with them in mind, but also other people in mind. You know, I was batch gift making. And they thought it was very weird. Have you heard of the sweater curse? It's a knitting thing. No, I have not. I have not. But also, like, I have not appreciated gifts before. Like, sometimes people have given me gifts. I've always acted appreciative, but sometimes I felt the same way. And like all of that is okay. Like all of us are just having highly nuanced, highly instinctive human reactions to one another. And that's okay. Sometimes I really like gifts and sometimes I really don't. And that's like okay. And it's okay for other people to have had that feeling towards me as well. I legitimately don't hold it against them. It wasn't the kind of thing that they wanted, so you know, it just didn't happen. Okay, Swoozy and I are having a moment right now because I'm on his stream and it says that he's not streaming. And I'm waiting for him to stream for me to read. But he claims that he's streaming, but my browser says that he's not streaming yet. So, if any of y'all want to go check for me, because I'm refreshing this page and it still says that they're not streaming. No stream. Barome says no stream. Destructicon says no stream. Gisley says no stream. Thoughts on psychopaths? They're psycho. Using Firefox? I am using Firefox. So thoughts on psychopaths? God bless the outcasts, hungry from birth. Show them the mercy they don't have on earth. You know, that's my actual thought. What's that from? It's from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's a pretty song. He probably has a technical issue. I think so. I think that's probably a good guess. I think he probably does have a technical issue. You remember the name of the song? I think it's God Bless the Outcasts. God bless the outcasts, hungry from birth. Show them the mercy. Oh, I started too low. They don't have on earth. Please help my people. I can get by. God knows they all. I don't remember the lyrics. Okay, he is streaming. My friends, we are going to raid Swoozy now. I will see y'all there. We are going to play some Deep Rock Galactic, it looks like. So, let's get ready to get some rockin' stone, alright? Rockin' stone. Good night, everyone. Sleepy. Good night.